Awesome. Yeah, first of all, happy birthday to NMKR. Nice that you have me here today to talk a bit about Rogue Galaxy. It's been, yeah, some crazy weeks or months, especially the last couple of months were really crazy. A lot of ups and downs. I think most of you guys know how our second min went, and from there on, we had to do a big shift. And I'm glad to be here today to talk a bit about that, what we are doing right now, because we kind of kept things quiet, but this never meant that we are not working on something. And I think it's very cool to show some gameplay today as well. So, for everyone that's not familiar with Rogue Galaxy, it's a sci-fi MMO. And it started as a very ambitious project, and it was divided into three separate modules, like a space exploration module where it's all about flying with your spaceship, exploring space, combat, and these kind of things. A planetary module, which is like gameplay on the planet surface with your character in third person, shooting creatures and aliens. And there was also a big social component with big city hubs which connect the whole universe together. And yes, Patrick just shows it, like on roguegalaxies.com, there are all the informations. But where we right now, we had to shrink the scope to create something that was feasible for us after our second mint, which did not went as we had it expected. And we did a lot of brainstorming and shifting of plans to come up with a good solution. And what we essentially do right now is creating a vertical slice of our first module, which is the space exploration module. And the vertical slice is something, if you're not familiar with the term, which is like a very short piece of the full game, but in the quality of what you could expect from a full game. So it should give you a very good idea of what Rogue Galaxies can come in the future if we can fully develop it to the full extent. And it will also give you like the first glimpse into the whole galaxy, the universe, what it is all about. And this is something we're really like focused on the last couple of weeks, like really breaking this experience down we want to create here. Like, what kind of story do we want to tell? Christian mentioned before a lot about storytelling, and Ignacio is very famous for that kind of topic. And we have him still on board, helping us and creating and shaping the story for the work he slice. So people can expect that they have a story they can play through in the vertical slice, and there will also be some interesting dialogue options, because it's not only you in the game, it's also a little companion you have on your side, which is Pip, your AI bot, which is also like a very topic of the moment, I would say, with all the AI stuff that is coming up. So we're hitting that right at time. Yeah, and we really like trying to build the whole experience out. If I can say something about game development in early stages, it's quite boring because you have to do the foundation work, and that was also something we had to create in the last weeks. Was like creating the base system, the project setup. Then you create your first control things. It's before it becomes visual, but I definitely have something to show today. We also did show a couple of in-game screenshots the last couple of days to give some first glimpses into what we are creating right now. But before I start to show something, do you have any questions? Or Patrick, do you want to give us some input here?
I don't have any questions. I had like a full, set of questions planned to get you to the point where you want to show something, but you took it all on your own, which is fine. I just want to think that, I think what we're doing right now with Rogue Galaxies is really cool because we we said, okay, look, let's focus on actually building something. Let's focus on actually delivering something. And maybe we're very German sometimes in our approach, right? So what that meant was that we cut down a lot on the social media marketing activities and stuff like that, and the whole community building aspect, and really say, okay, all of our energy needs to go into building this project, right? Building this game. And that is what Eve and the team has been doing for the last few weeks. And yeah, I'm very excited for it to actually come out someday, and I'm also very excited for what you have to show us today, because I haven't seen it yet either.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, so it's also like a preview for you, like a first time look into it, besides the screenshots and what we were discussing, like in the chats. But yeah, I will share my screen. I'm not so familiar with this kind of text, so I hope I can just.
Yeah, it should work.
It's only like sharing windows. Okay, I will try it that way. Hopefully it works.
Okay, perfect. Let me enable that. Okay, here we go.
So we really give you like the insight directly from the engine. So what you can see right now is like full black screen, right?
1 second. It's very, yeah, it's full black screen.
Yeah, it's full black, but it's okay if it's like that.
No, yeah, but it's also very high resolution, low resolution. So maybe if you can turn off your camera quickly.
Give me a second.
Somehow Restream is not very good at showing streams from other people. That's very unfortunate.
Does
Okay,
it work
now?
now?
Yes, now it's
Yeah,
a
it was
lot
also
better.
telling me like that Restream was freezing. Okay.
Okay.
So before I start showing something, you have to keep in mind it's like a work in progress. We have like the base foundation and a bit about the story. At the start, you will spawn in a space station. It is also what we will do here. And there will be some evacuation scene. So it's for you, okay, something is going on. And at the start of the game, it's you going to your spaceship. And since this is a blockchain game, your spaceship is your actual NFT. So what you will see here is like me going to the hangar. You will also be able to explore here a little bit of the space station if some doors are open. For now, mostly they are like stuffed with a couple of things are blocked. And it's pretty much to get some base idea of the movement, learn a bit about the game. Very easy, just to get some entry point for the game. I think that's very important. And it's also like getting familiar with the controls until you reach the hangar scene, where you right now then have your spaceship parked, which is, as I mentioned, your NFT. And in the ultimate vision of Rogue Galaxy, this will be like your spaceship, fully customizable, and NFT you can then later transform. But as I mentioned, we are creating the vertical slice of the space exploration module. So let me quickly jump into one of the next scenes, which is also a part of the tutorial. Okay, so later on, there will be more transitioning and it will be more streamlined. But this is like a scene where it's like you with your spaceship. And what you can see here is some blinking containers. And one of the first things you have to learn with your spaceship is like maneuvering, how to, just fly it and just maneuver through things. And that's why one of the first scenes inside of the game is like an asteroid field filled with these canisters you have to maneuver through. And if you come too close to them, then they will explode and damage you. So if you're a better pilot than me, you will survive. And I just restarted quickly. And what it is really about is like learning your spaceship and then slowly becoming like figuring out how to maneuver through things. Because especially in flying a spaceship, there are different inputs, how you have to steer it and how to maneuver it. And there's also a booster you can use. so you can become faster. And it's really like getting the hang of it. Like in every game, there's some tutorial which gives you an introduction. And what you also can expect here is like that you are in constant communication with your AI bot, which gives you hints and more informations of what to do and what your mission is all about. And then eventually, if you are good enough, you will be able to maneuver through this thing. And at the end of some points, there are these gates. And these gates are like some fast travel points we use to go to different places. And it's also important to have them here to travel through the galaxy of Rogue Galaxies. And some of them are active, and some of them have to be repaired through missions that you have to do. So in the vertical slice, you can expect a couple of things for you to do. There will also be combat involved. Like, just let me show you a little bit of that. There is shooting. So you have your laser gun, you can shoot, and there are also rockets. So expect some of that you have to fight some foes and defend yourself. And ultimately, it's really about having like the mission where you have to find a mysterious shard, which is a Stygian splinter. And these Stygian splinters are like the power source of this universe. And in order to do so, you will have to do some sneaky actions and go inside of an enemy battleship. But I don't want to spoil too much of that because in the end, it's your mission to figure it out, how to get there and how to go inside that ship to get that Stygian splinter. Yeah, and I would say
that's incredible. That's incredible. I can't believe it. Like,
yeah.
I'm seriously blown away. It looks amazing. It looks like an actual game, which is super high quality.
Yeah, this whole time you were showing this to us, I had this internal monologue of all these comments I'm making in my head. Like, it looks fantastic, and especially the opening hangar scene. Job well done. It looks amazing.
Yeah, thanks. We've been working very hard on that the last weeks to get it to a good point. And as I said, like the foundation stuff takes a lot of time. So at the point where we are right now is that we can make fast improvements. So it's like going back to the game every 2 days or every 3 days, you see major improvements, new things added, new content, all of that. And we really think the vertical slice is shaping very well together. And we think it will be a very cool experience. And I'm excited when people can play it. And this is also a thing. We thought about the access of the MVP. And I think we said back then that we just open it up for everyone. But we still believe that people that have our NFTs should be like the one that have the first access. And it will be like we promised them back then when they purchased our NFTs that these will be like the key to play this game, like to play the vertical slice. So the NFTs are still the early access key as we promised them back then.
Amazing. I can't believe it. I can't believe how much you and the team and everyone involved actually managed to do with the amount of little resources that we had overall, and also little time that we had to do this. So I'm really, really astonished at the moment, and I'm very excited. And I think the community is going to be very happy as well. I see a lot of very positive comments here in the chat. I'm gonna put a few here. So thank you for showing us this, Eve. It's really, really cool. Yeah, what else do you have to tell us about Rogue Galaxies? Is there anything else? Do you have any questions, Victor? Maybe.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So, what does this mean for Rogue Galaxies? Like, you guys plan on continuing the NFT sales at some point? Are we gonna speak to the community on that decision? Like, what's the next step after they've seen this?
I mean, it's also something that is always like in the hands of the community. We are very community focused from day one. And even though in the last couple of weeks, as I mentioned, we were quiet on that part because we really focused on building, it's still that this is like a community driven game and community driven development. we see potential, especially as we approach like the final states of the vertical slice, that it will be something that players can get their hands on and decide for themselves and on their own what they want Rogue Galaxies to be. And I really think like the approach from us from day one, like delivering things first, is like the approach we should also go forward with Rogue Galaxies.
I agree. Yeah, and I think there will be a lot more debate about where Galaxies should go in the future once we come closer to the release date and afterwards, of course, and we'll figure that out together. But I'm just incredibly proud of the team and of everyone at NMKR and everyone at who has been part of developing the game for saying, okay, we're actually building something cool here, and we're not going to listen to all the FUD, and we're just here and pushing through and building something. And I think that's a heavily underrated skill nowadays, to just deliver. So I don't have any other questions. If you have nothing else to show us, I think we can stay.
Not yet.
Okay,
I think
yet.
it was a good sneak peek, I would say. Okay. So
it was a very good sneak peek. It was incredible. So I don't think you have to show us anything else. I'm very excited for the next steps and next sneak peeks, maybe. And then, yeah, thank you so much for your time, Eve, and I hope you have a great rest of the evening.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me, and we will talk soon.
Bye.
It's good seeing you. Bye.
What do you say, Victor?
I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I've never seen the gameplay before. I think maybe I saw a screenshot at some point, but that looks phenomenal. Better than probably 99% of the games that are on Web3 right now. So yeah. I mean, kind of understand, like, at least I'm understanding now the situation of like how much money goes into this project, because that's not a cheap game that we're looking at. So I mean, maybe people will start to understand, I guess, the process and what we're trying to build, at least what you guys are trying to build and make your games. So, yeah.
It's not a cheap game, and you have to think about it. We did not raise nearly the amount of money that we wanted to raise with the NFT sales, and in general, we have multiple seasons planned. We have a scope of over a million, multiple millions actually, to deliver this whole game. And what we've just seen was basically done by the minimum team that we possibly have, just by the founders, just by the core team. And just imagine how much more we could achieve if we had the funding to do so, and if we had the opportunity and the time frame as well to do so. I think we would be able to actually build something which really transcends crypto and really is just a great game overall and onboards people. And that's the whole point. That's why I wanted to do Rogue Galaxies from the beginning, right? So I'm excited for that. But I hope.
I was just thinking in my head is like, don't bet against NMKR and Patrick. So I was like, this looks great. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, I guess it's gonna be up to the community. I know we've stepped back a lot in the community building wise, because that does take so much time out of like the game. I mean, it's a small team. I mean, what they've made with just the team, the resources that they have is incredible. But like, they were also like, I mean, I helped out as much as I could. We were also handling social media. Like that's a lot of time. Like community building is like a lot of time. So that took up in all the Twitter spaces that Eves and Ignacio did. It's just a lot of time and making all these partnerships and deals and stuff like that, trying to get more people in. So that's like a full-time job right there. So that took out a lot of time from the development, and I'm super glad that we're focusing on putting all that resources into just building the game and putting it out there and getting the response from the community, and then moving forward. I think that's the perfect thing to do, and hopefully the community gets behind Rogue Galaxies if they left, or get behind them once again, and see what's being built here.